The holiday of Sukkot. Who doesn't love the holiday of Sukkot? The time in which we sit in the sukkah. And why do we sit in the sukkah? To remember that when the Jews left Egypt, God put us in Sukkot. There are two opinions in the Gemara. One opinion is that the Sukkot we sat in were actual Sukkot when we left Egypt, sort of like the huts we sit in today. That's what we sat in when we left Egypt. The other opinion is that it's talking about Ananei HaKavod, the clouds of glory. Either way, it's sort of a standalone holiday that we celebrate to remember the miracle of us leaving Egypt, sitting in Sukkot, and surviving through the desert. And yet, despite this independent historical connection of Sukkot, Sukkot is also part of the Shalosh Haregalim, the three festivals, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. And the Torah, interestingly, describes Sukkot not just as the standalone holiday when we remember the time we sat in the huts when we left Mitzrayim, but it is also part of the agricultural cycle. You have Passover, Chag HaAviv, the holiday in which all the wheat is already green and growing in the fields. You have Shavuot, Chag HaKatzir, the time of the harvest. And finally, you have Sukkot, Chag HaAsif, the time of gathering, when you gather in all the crops and everything that you've grown so that you are prepared for the cold winter and you really celebrate as you have all these. So Sukkot is sort of a holiday with two identities. On the one hand, it is the time where we celebrate being in the Sukkot, the huts when we left Egypt, or Ananei HaKavod. And on the other hand, it is also Chag HaAsif, the holiday of gathering the different crops that we have into the house. The question is there a connection? And their answer is, there is a connection. Rabbi Judah Lowy, the Maharal of Prague, who's most famously known for the urban legends about the Golem of Prague and the whole creation of the Golem, whether you believe it or not, but he was one of the greatest rabbis of Europe. He was the chief rabbi of Prague, Rabbi Judah Lowy, the Maharal of Prague, and he says the following: the holiday of Sukkot and its agricultural connections, the three Haregalim and their agricultural connections, actually very much mirror the historical accounts of what was happening. It's not that we have Pesach, the time of leaving Egypt, Shavuot, the time of getting the Torah, Sukkot, the time of Hashem sitting us in Sukkot. And then parallel to that, you have three holidays. You have Pesach, the time where everything is growing in the field, Chag HaAviv. You have Shavuot, the holiday where everything is harvested. And you have Sukkot, the holiday where it's all gathered in. No, they are all actually connected. They actually are all very much representative of one another. They mirror each other because Pesach, Chag HaAviv, what do you have in Passover? If you walk out to your field on Passover, what do you see? You see green. Everything is grown. Is it fully grown? It's not fully grown. It is, you have what you have. It's almost grown, and you know that you have a lot, but it's not fully grown. That's what happened when we left Egypt. Hashem had us. We were there, but we were not fully grown. Shavuot, the holiday of the Katzir, harvesting, everything is ripe. That is the time of getting the Torah. We got the Torah. We were ripe. We were ready. We had everything we needed. But it was uncertain. Look what happened. The Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf. The Jews went astray. And then we did tshuva. And then we were sealed in a covenant with God. God says, even when they sin, they are my people. That is Chag HaAsif, the time of gathering it in. So Sukkot is the culmination of not only the agricultural seasons, but also the history. And it's also true for each and every one of us. Passover, we are spiritually vibrant, but there's still a lot more in the year. Shavuot, we get the Torah. Oh, what a beautiful thing. We're empowered by the Torah. And Sukkot is after Yom Kippur. We gather all the spiritual energy that we've gathered, and we go into the winter where we get an opportunity of months and months of Torah study, tefillah, growing, learning, and good things. So Be'ezrat Hashem, this Sukkot should be a good holiday for everyone. I hope you enjoyed this Dvar Torah, and wishing everyone a Chag Sameach v'samachta b'chagecha.